Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force, the Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, as you still can't see me, but you can hear me. I'm still here, and I'm joined as usual by Dave and George. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Phil. It's weird, you're just being a floaty voice still.
Again.
So if anyone is listening who can send Phil a webcam, please just donate £2 a month.
Oh dear. Yes. No,
Yeah.
I am here, but in voice only, which is still probably your preferred method of seeing me, which is not at all. Yes, though this evening show, we've got quite a lot of news to get through. We've had SDCC, what was that, last week? Now we've had quite a bit of news in the past couple of weeks, so we might as well just jump straight into tonight's show. The first bit of news actually is something that I wasn't expecting, which is that Episode 9 has a brand new writer, Jack Thorne, who's known for things like The Cursed Child, This Is England, and some of the bits and pieces. I mean, guys, what are your thoughts on that?
So I go for it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Colin Trevorrow, the warning bells are ringing. They are getting nearer. You are one step closer to the end. He's doing a rewrite, and it's not a page one rewrite, which is a blessing because, you know, if it's a page one rewrite, then they are doomed. But I don't know what to make of it because he's rewriting, and we don't know the major plot points from episode 8, which are going to get addressed. We don't know, but what's just under 6 months before they start filming, and they're doing. I mean, it's common to do another draft, but bringing on a new writer who has not worked on any of the Star Wars films to come in and, you know, do it this quickly on top of everything that's happened with.
Lost audio.
Oh, on me.
Yeah, sorry, George, you went silent on me. I don't know if it's me or not. Sorry.
It was just,
sorry.
like, still hearing perfectly fine. But
Sorry, it's my end then. Sorry. Apologies, George.
That's all right. It's just very worrying that less than 6 months before they go up, another rewrite's come in, and it's not like it's someone that's been connected to Lucasfilm before. This is someone brand new coming in to try and, you know, salvage it. I mean, for all I know, the first script was exceptional, and they're making it worse. For all we know, it was a terrible script, and they're making it better. We will not know for 2 more years. But to me, it's just the Colin Trevorrow stuff. It's getting another guy. And I mean, Cursed Child swept the Olivier Awards. I'm seeing, Phil, you've seen it. I'm seeing it in January.
it's incredible. It truly is incredible.
For any American viewers, This Is England is the most un-Star Warsy, I guess, combination you can have. I'm now expecting like some Kylo Ren to come out like bold and suddenly be a teenager ready to fight people, you know, and like football hooliganism. But it just came out of nowhere, in all honesty. Absolutely nowhere. This just pops up last night.
It is a weird one. I mean, I think we've had conversations up here about the Colin Trevorrow situation and whether he would see himself through to episode 9 or not. I like also that it came out in this story that it had come out in the news that he was going off a script that Ryan Johnson had actually plot pointed, and Ryan just was like, nope, nothing to do with me. Which
I was about to bring that up, the correction from Ryan Johnson.
He just tweeted straight out, say it wasn't him. He hasn't written any points for the story. So yeah, I mean, it's a strange one, as George said, to bring on a fresh writer. Which, I mean, the weirdest thing about it, I think, is it's Trevorrow's writing partner. That's who he writes with. For him to get bumped for someone else, does that then put Trevorrow in a position where he's like, oh, I don't know if this is a position I can stay in? If he's not having the writer he wants on, it's a strange one. But these Star Wars films don't seem to go anywhere to plan. I don't even, Harrison Ford broke his leg in the making of A New Hope, and I just think all the way along the line something happens in these films.
But I know what you mean.
Yes, sorry. So it's a bump in the road, but these films seem to have bumps in the road, and so far we've had 2 pretty good movies. So I still fingers crossed for what comes out of it. It's a very interesting situation, though.
Indeed, it is. It's one of those situations where we don't know what the state of the script was or what the plot points were from 8. As you said, we'll have to wait until December to find out what the story is from 8. We don't know why there's new writers brought in. To be honest, I thought they were going to say that Lawrence Kasdan had been put on it, but either way, I don't mind the situation. It's one of those things that it does happen. It's it was something we can't prevent, or we don't know what's going on, so we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But talking about episode 8 though, and the Last Jedi, or Last is as we love to call it here on Wands of the Force, we've had some images leaked. Now I've seen the first one, which I'll mention in a second, but I've tried not to go into them in too much detail myself, just because I tried to stay away from the spoilers as much as I can. But the main one that's leaked, and the main one that I have seen and we've all seen, is Supreme Leader Snoke in his golden pajamas. It's a very odd image in terms of it kind of looks like a
passport
headshot.
picture.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a passport photo. It really does. That's probably the best way to describe
No
it.
smiling, Supreme Leader Snoke. Straight face. Oh no, that's just your messed up face. Sorry.
Indeed, it does look like a passport photo post acid and some kind of skin graft is probably the best way to describe it. George, any thoughts on it?
Well, I just saw them all come online, and first saw a meme of Luke Skywalker. I was like, "Wow, that's some really good artwork." And it was liked by Mark Hamill, and I thought, "Whoa, that really is good artwork." Mark Hamill's liked it, and then it was leaked images from the film, and I looked at them all. And in all honesty, there's no spoilers to me or to myself. There maybe is one picture with one prop that could be intriguing, but we won't discuss that here. But essentially, it looks like portrait images of the characters which they're going to use for marketing. Some of them look like they're going to be in the sort of visual dictionary, especially that Snoke picture with the whole white background. That's what I feel about it.
That was as soon as I saw the pictures, that was my first thought. On the backgrounds, the fact Rey's got a lightsaber, it's not lit, it's just the prop. The first thing literally I thought would they've come from whoever's taking the photos for the visual dictionary has gone, they've just got out somehow.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, we've seen Snoke in hologram form, and we know we're getting the Lego minifigure. And to me, okay, he hasn't been in a trailer yet, but the fact that we've got Legos to talk about later, but the fact that the Lego minifigures have been kind of unofficially but officially unveiled now by Lego is that, everyone knows what it's going to look like, and, it's only a matter of time until they just put him in. I think he'll be in the next trailer, a shot of him, because surely you don't release the merchandise without him, being in marketing beforehand. But some cool pose pictures of the guys, the crew, the load. I would have loved to have been the person taking that. I do not lie, but it was so random. Suddenly having a quiet Star Wars week, and then you just get a couple of big things drop as it usually happens. And there was some very funny sort of memes that have come on since. For any Doctor Strange fans, there's a before and after. Before's the ancient one, after's Snoke's face, which was my personal favorite.
It does make you wonder, though, I think at this point in time, if companies such as Lucasfilm have professional leakers, as in a part of the marketing department that at certain points is supposed to leak something. Because
no doubt about it.
in this day and age, we do get a lot of leaks, and they do come at convenient times, especially this week was around SDCC. Again, it's just building up that hype train. We've only got 4 and a bit months till episode 8 now.
140 days, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, building up the hype train. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do have a professional leaker these days. But yes, but talk about on official news though, we've had John Powell has been confirmed to score the Han Solo film, a film that again is having a very difficult birth at the moment. It's as we know, with the whole Ron Howard situation, is going through its own turmoil. But we now have a composer, and it's one that is a little left field in terms of he hasn't done anything. He's done a lot of major work, but nothing as far as I could see in terms of more kind of a science fiction vibe or anything like that. It's interesting to see how he will score this film. We had, of course, Michael Giacchino do Rogue One. We've had another composer who I can't remember off the top of my head who did the Clone Wars movie. But this will be quite interesting to see. I mean, guys, what do you think about this?
I was gutted that it wasn't Hans Zimmer because he's worked with Ron Howard on many films, and I thought that maybe he'd bring in Zimmer to finally do a Star Wars, and that's what I really, really wanted to see. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. But he's done a lot of animated films, and I've seen Shrek, but I've heard good things about all the films he's been on. But it's such a left field choice going from animated to live action.
It is a big step. You're right. I guess it's hard for anybody who's going to come into a Star Wars movie now, and in the shadow of Williams, I think that's a really tough for anybody. Giacchino managed it in 2 and a bit weeks that he got given to do a score, and was able to fire that without any problems. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think I like that they're making bold choices, that they're going out there and putting people in who could then become part of the Star Wars family, who could then be out for further.
The Disney family, that's the thing. If you look at the Pixar side of things, and along with Shrek and other bits and pieces they've done, he's part of the Disney family. So it's not entirely a left field choice if you look at it from that perspective. If you look at it from a live action perspective, yes, it is quite a left field choice, but he does have some relation to the Disney family and with films they have done. And to be honest, they nailed it with Michael Giacchino, and I mean, the score is something that is very special to a Star Wars film. It adds a lot, and you could take a lot away with that. I mean, if the film's scored wrong, it comes out, it's something you notice. I mean, with Rogue One, you had Michael Giacchino's epic Krennic theme, and on the route to Edu and all the rest of it. That was incredible. So if he can do something on that scale, then or bring it on. I don't think that we'll have John Williams do another. We'll have him do 9, but I don't think he'll do a spin-off film. I think 9 will probably be his last Star Wars film.
It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Is he 83 now? 84?
Yeah, something
Williams.
Like that,
He's getting close. That's, I mean, looking at the next episode 9 to come out. What is it? 2019?
Yep, I think that'll be his farewell as well too.
Yeah, I would have thought if he touch wood that he does. I mean, it would be awesome to have across those 9 films to have scored everyone. I think that'd be amazing. And touch wood that he's all health and goodness to him, because I want to hear that score play out to his finale. I think you're right. I think it would be his farewell to the Star Wars films, and then new people will come in. But yes, I mean, you know what? Good luck to anyone who's now coming to the Han Solo film. It's had problems, but Ron Howard had an interview or tweeted something, and I think it was Vanity Fair over the week, saying that he was having a great time shooting, and he loves the script. He's having a great time on set. So it looks like it's gone from being a bit of disruption to quite a happy family again.
It's very clever as well. I mean, we'll get to one House of later, but they're doing very well in the last couple of weeks in terms of their PR handling of the Han Solo film. I think that's a good term for it.
Indeed, although I agree with what you said last time, George. They still should have done something at D23 to kind of...
Yeah, there's no excuses then.
Yeah. Indeed. But moving on from D23 to SDCC again, and we've had Porgs officially unveiled, the cutest thing in the Star Wars galaxy by far. Can
I just jump in and say I'm not a big fan?
Really?
I was just about to agree with you.
Thank God.
God,
I know that when I was at Skellig, they said, they were inspired by the Puffins. They created some creatures to be in the film, and they were going to be boisterous little creatures running around with sharp teeth and stuff. I was like, oh, that could be kind of cool. And then the Porgs, like, okay, I can live with the name Porg. But now they've officially been released, like, all this hype has just jumped to them out of nowhere. It's like they're literally little creatures. Like, let them. I don't know what this is, but I look at them, and we've seen one shot of them in their entirety, and you're discounting the Chewbacca and the Porgs book cover. But if
I ever create a band, it is going to be called Chewbacca and the Porgs.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a lot worse than a band. Trust me. But I don't know. Like, I'm really hoping they're better in the film, but I need to see more of them. But they've come out of nowhere, and everyone's going crazy for Porgs, and I'm there like, no, like, focus on the film.
We've had that one shot of the trailer where, I mean, don't get us wrong, for an animatronic.
Oh, they look insane.
His head looks up. It's like, that's crazy that's not a computer effect. That's a real thing. But yeah, I'm not with us hype train. Look, they're going to be background. They're not going to be integral to the story. They're going to be. I think they'll be very much used for the media, like that book Chewbacca and the Porgs. A lot of children's media is going to be around these creatures. I've got no doubt about it. But yeah, again, for me, they're a background character. They won't really matter to the story, but yeah, I don't understand the hype.
Well,
Sorry, Phil.
Let us know what you think either on Facebook or in the live chat below. Any comments anywhere. Let us know what you think of the Porgs. But personally, I think they're adorable.
George will have the pop when it comes out.
No. You know what? I probably will. I won't lie. It's like going to AA, isn't it? Well, obviously, I wouldn't know that, but this is what it's going to turn into, isn't it? Like PA. Oh, no. Yeah. Funko Anonymous.
We poke fun at George here, and you'll find out more later on in the show.
Yes, there's
why we're doing this, but
there are tales to be told. Yeah,
there are some exceptional tales actually.
Wait, that's what we'll try and get through things as quick because I'd like to get to all your tale telling.
Indeed.
So,
well, yeah, the last point on the Porgs, I love them. I think they're adorable. But we'll leave it to our audience to decide what they think. Moving on to the next part of news, which is Gwendolyn Christie and Ryan Johnson have worked together to get the backstory for Captain Phasma. I'm very interested to see it, actually, especially the new comic they've got coming out for that, which I'll talk more on later. But yes, to actually have a background and have more. I mean, I love The Force Awakens. There are some people out there who don't, and that's fair enough. I adore the film. I like her character, but there needs to be more to it. I'm very interested to see what comes of this. I mean, what are your guys' opinions on Phasma? And
I thought she's the most. She looked when the trailer and everything was coming out, and all the material was coming out. She looks probably the best out of those characters. That costume is superb. I love the Phasma outfit. And then she was the most underutilized creation on screen that they could have done with her. I just didn't. She told Finn off for taking his helmet off, and then pretty much got put in a trash compactor, as far as we're aware. Yeah, I just didn't. I was really disappointed because I was really expecting great things from the character. I really did. But no, I just. If there's more to her in a backstory, that'd be great. They've got something to kind of put out there. As long as in Last Jedi, she is the character I wanted to be. And from the trailers, they kind of show that she's going to be in more of the action, which is what I wanted from her. But yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm quite happy they've created this, and it's with Ryan Johnson as well. They've decided this is what our story is. Really interesting stuff. But yeah, I'd bring on the next film. Just do more.
Indeed. You know, I want George? To do more like the... Sorry, yeah, George.
Oh, do you want to go first?
Sorry. I just
yeah, that's right. I just want to say I was hoping, and I want her in Last Jedi to be more like the Scar Troopers from issues 20 to 24 of I think it's 20 to 24 of the main Star Wars comic. Scar Troopers, for those who don't know, it's the Special Commando Advanced Recon Troopers. They are basically like the Bad Batch troopers from the Clone Wars, if you've seen the kind of animatic style. Then they've actually all got names. They've all got different roles to play. Like you have, for example, you have...
Is there one called Snoke? He looks like he's part of a Bad Batch.
There isn't one called Snoke. But you do have things like Shrap, who is a demolitions expert. And things like that. So it's a very good. To be fair, the Star Wars comic, like again, I'll get on more into that later. It's a cracking line, but they're quite badass. And I want Phasma to be a lot more badass than the next film. Sorry, George, your opinion.
Captain Phasma is easily one of the most disappointing characters I've ever seen in my life. When the marketing came out for her, I was there like, yes, a chrome trooper. I am resisting the urge to swear. Like, yes. I was so in for it. I love Game of Thrones. Brienne of Tarth is one of the most imposing characters I've ever seen. So her in Star Wars was, yes, get in. Then Force Friday came out. Captain Phasma everywhere. I even bought a chrome travel mug, which she liked when I tweeted her at 6 a.m. and I was at work the following day. I was like, get in. Phasma's going to be like... I mean, I don't mind Boba Fett, but I've always preferred Jango. But Phasma was to be the new of this trilogy of the badass and... Oh, kill these people. Oh, don't take your helmet off. Oh, to the bins. And I was like, wait, this is it. Like, I remember pictures, the EW first photo shoot when she was covered in like her arm had been burnt and stuff from fighting at Takadona. And, where was it? So I was so disappointed. But I had like Black Series. I had so much merchandise for, and even now I've even got 2 from The Force Awakens of them bloody pops. And now she has a Pike. So A, there's going to be another Pop, but B, I really feel like she's going to get a role. And they've made a big talk of K. Yes, Phasma's this, Phasma's that. I think they've realized that they built up someone for ultimate disappointment. Whether her scenes are on the cutting floor or they just wanted to con with marketing.
I think when we get the Ultimate trilogy set or Ultimate Saga set, when Episode 9 comes out and we get the full box set, that's when we'll finally see all the deleted scenes. I reckon we'll see something in that for Episode 7. Because there has to be something more to her than what they showed. And
there definitely is.
She ended up being a disappointment. And for me, that was the only disappointment I had with 7. Just because they had built up this character and done nothing with her. And I reckon through the comic, through the Captain Phasma book, and through Episode 8, I reckon she'll get a redemption.
And Battlefront.
Too, yeah, for sure. So hopefully we'll get that improvement. But yes, speaking of films and things, Ron Howard has been tweeting quite actively some pictures from set. As Dave was saying earlier, he does look like he's having a good time, like things are improving on the Han Solo film. And some of the images are very interesting. I mean, I absolutely adore the one he shared of hyperspace, showing what they can now do in live action, in camera, in lens, compared to what they have been able to do in the past. It's just the technology leaps are amazing, but unlike Lucas, they are doing it all in camera instead of leaving it all for post. And that's where, I mean, originally when we had Star Wars come out in 1977, by that point, Lucas had pioneered so much in terms of the model work with ILM. And when you got onto Empire Strikes Back, you had the AT-ATs, you had some of the TIE Fighter explosions, the Death Star explosions, everything, so much that he'd put into it. And that technological advancement, you could see the progression from 4 till 6. When he got to Episode 1, there was a lot more model work than there was by the time he got to Episode 3. And don't get it wrong, the opening scene of Episode 3 with the battle over Coruscant is amazing. That, for me, has stood the test of time, but a lot of the CG hasn't. It's starting to look a little aged. However, what they're doing with Episode 7, with Episode 8, with Rogue One, with everything they've been able to capture in camera, as well as using the ILM, it's just amazing. If you look at Episode 3 and compare it with Rogue One, for example, they had, I think it was something like 3,000 shots or something, and they had the vast majority, like 2/3 of those had CG in it. Whereas you look at Rogue One, and only a couple of hundred shots had, full CG in it. So it's the progression is amazing, and to see what they can now do, and to see as that hyperspace was awesome. I mean, what did you guys think of the leaked pictures, especially Lando as well?
The leaked pictures of Lando, or the ones that Ron Howard's kind of released officially?
The Ron Howard, yeah.
I was going to say then. They're, like I said, they're just PR. They're good PR. Get good things on track. He tweeted some cool ones today of the droids. There's a really cool R2, like gold and white. I
want to check that out.
I mean, I love Ron Howard. He's directed one of my favorite films, and I just feel like he's steadying the ship. And there's no better way to do this in the modern era than social media. And think about how strict Star Wars films have been. I mean, the closest thing before this of set pictures you had to any Star Wars film was that really weird Batman v Superman / Star Wars war they kept doing with each other, which was really odd, which I really didn't like. That was the closest thing you had to kind of set pictures. But now I feel like they've probably said, okay, mate, you can do this because we do need to get some good PR. And, treating practical effects of droids today, that's always going to help you out. A couple of weeks ago, you had the Wookiees, you had hyperspace. They're doing all the right things, and just to take that pressure off them ever so slightly.
It's been played so well. I mean, he's tweeting out pictures. So, and the production, I've just had a look at that droid. It looks awesome. The R2 that's gold and white. R2 looks brilliant. But yeah, I just think it feels like it's now where they wanted it to be. Letting Ron Howard have freedom to kind of, I'm going to tweet this out and picture the droids. And there was one in like what looked like maybe a cantina a couple of days ago with some big alien in the background. Couldn't quite make out, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it's starting to get back to exactly where they want this film to be. And I mean, Ron Howard certainly is here with, I'm sure it was Vanity Fair, he spoke to a variety, some of that, and he seemed really happy with he said the script was excellent, and he was really happy with how it was coming together.
I think I agree with what you're saying, George, about the PR, and I think it is to calm the fans by showing them that they're now doing things correctly. I mean, sometimes you have to have an accident. Like they always say, you have to break some eggs to make an omelet. You do sometimes have to, even if it's drastic, like they've done with replacing directors at the last minute and adding 10 weeks of extra shooting into the schedule. If you have to do that to fix it, and if it's better for it, then great. It's just unfortunate that in this day and age, things like that do happen, and the bad PR spreads like wildfire. And I'd be very interested to see, and I love some of the pictures he's put out. And yes, so what were your thoughts on the leaked Lando pictures, though, with the costume and seeing Donald Glover in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon? For me, that's very exciting to see actually Lando in the Falcon, potentially when it's his ship.
I wasn't bothered at all. I just want to see Lando properly. I want to see Donald Glover properly. I don't want to see it through a lens. I just want them to release like an image of the cast in character.
Yeah, fully costumed up.
Yeah, I want to see Lando.
There was a tweet for Brie Larson. She the girl who's playing Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She put out a tweet the other day where she'd gone to one of her movies came out, and the cast of Han Solo were there, and Glover with his Lando mustache, sideburns on, still looked awesome just in that, in his regular clothes. So I can't wait. As long as he's rocking a blue cape at some point, I'm all for it.
They have had that in the pictures. If you haven't seen one of them, there is a pic in there just to please you. Yes. So we're now going to move on to something that George, you've put this on the schedule. I hadn't actually seen this yet, so I'll let you talk more on a bit than myself. But Lucasfilm registered the domain Star Wars Rise to Power.com. Yeah, go on.
So these things kind of happen. I remember Force of Destiny was one where some idiots thought that, oh my god, it's episode 9. Like, nope. The domain of www.starwarsrisetopower.com has been registered by Lucasfilm. And it just sounds like it's going to be a mobile game, like the others have done. I can't imagine it being anything else than that. Rise to Power, it's a game. It's not episode 9. So it's just mine, which means, okay, soon we'll probably get an official announcement about some stuff. But yeah, just a minor bit of news that kind of came out just before Comic-Con, that domain register had. So,
I mean, I reckon from the sounds of it, from Rise to Power, there's got to either be Empire,
First Order.
Most likely First Order.
Yeah, we're going to get a full year now of just episode 7 prelude stuff. So I can't wait for this kind of story stuff. Could even be the biopic of Snoke.
You never know. And then, yes, so moving a bit more SDCC news. They had some costumes on display. Again, they've done this in the past. They had the at Star Wars Celebration for the past couple of years, and we went. They had the full Rogue One costume display, which was incredible. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but when I went, I did, and it was just phenomenal. So just some minor details they've put on it, with including the evacuation of Dakar. That should be quite cool. I don't know what Dakar is. No one knows yet, of course, but it's just these little tidbits that keep coming out. Very interesting, very subtle. What do you think?
Dakar's the base for episode 7, so that's just natural. Yeah, what I didn't like, one of the costumes is so clearly Elobatsi, that bloody pilot.
It's so alive.
And they've come out and they've literally put his theme because this isn't Elobatsi. He may look like him. Now it's just there like liars, like you've just clearly done this.
Of course it's not Rusty. Who else is it gonna be?
Yeah, and it was funny, but they had a BB-8, one of the ones that was used up there. But yeah, they just mentioned the evacuation to Dakar, and I kind of thought, well, considering it takes place straight after episode 7 finishes and the entire First Order know the resistance is at Dakar, you need to run. It'd be like if episode 5 was set like 10 minutes after New Hope, they'd be flying straight off the shelves from Yavin to Hoth. So that'll be quite interesting, I think, seeing that. But
I must admit, I didn't know the base was Dakar. I knew, of course, of Act 2 and all the rest of it. So that's where I don't get that from. So that's interesting. Yes, I mean, of course, yeah, they're going to have to leg it. I mean, the First Order knows where they are. And although they don't have Starkiller Base anymore, they still have a sizable fleet.
Yeah, I was going to say Supreme Leader Snoke, he had hidden away somewhere very nice. And
he's apparently got a big Lego Star Destroyer that he likes to sit in. So yeah, he's been building that in his hologrammy form to come and appear in.
Well, to be fair, though, that does kind of then lend credence to what we've seen in the trailers thus far of Poe's X-Wing getting blown up, with Phasma and Stormtroopers marching to the front, so with explosions and things. So if that's the evacuation of Dakar, then that would be, quite cool. So yes, and then finally, we have a bit of news that is just not news, which is Spencer Wardley hasn't been cast in Han Solo. He just started a rumor to get out of going into convention, so he go to a charity event. I mean, it's kind of news that's non-news, I think. But any opinions?
Well, when it came out, I think, was it you that messaged it me, Phil?
Yeah.
Where, it was big to Spencer Warding's on the new Han Solo film. Is he playing Darth Vader? And I was there like, no, because it's not anything to do with the Imperial. This is a smuggler's film. It was an odd one because obviously he was one of the two to play him in Rogue One, and I thought, well, if he's in it, he's just playing actor. But then it came out like he was lying to get out of going to convention, and I was like, oh, this is getting interesting now, isn't it? Like, I wonder how his PR is going to go on. And then it came out that he flew over to Australia to do some charity events and stuff. So I don't really know why he had to lie to make out he was in the new film, because he had to then comment to Facebook say it wasn't true. So I thought that was a bit of a light humor, especially in the era of fake news.
It really is. It literally is like, yes, I'm in this, and oh no, I'm not, and that was a lie. But I am doing charity, so you have to forgive me. It's like, oh yeah, kind of, yeah, all right, well done.
Well, it's better than something to use their power for. But yes, so now we're going to move on to a section that has been dull for the past few months, which has saddened me. But I'm very excited to talk about now. So Star Wars. I love Star Wars, as you guys will know. In fact, I sent a pictures to the guys earlier in our private chat, which was of every single Star Wars single issue that's been released since Disney took over. So all the new Marvel Star Wars canon, as I was sitting just catching up on some reading today. And it's about nearly 200 comics there already. It's ridiculous. Like, when you add up all of the original run of Darth Vader, which is 25 issues, you've got 33 issues of Star Wars so far. You've got 10 issues Dr. Aphra. You've got one-shots. You've got the first 15 issues of Poe. You've got Lando, Chewie, Han, Princess Leia. There's so much more in there. It's epic. But yes, so the first bit of news for Star Wars, though, is on the comic front, which is Kieran Gillen and Salvador Larroca, who did the first run of Darth Vader, are taking over the main Star Wars comic line from issue 38, which means we'll finish up the current storyline thus far. We've just started a new, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. We've just finished the Screaming Citadel. That was quite a cool crossovers between the Star Wars and Dr. Aphra lines. I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to be reading any of the comics, but I do urge you to.
The only one I think I might go to is literally our next point, is the Thrawn adaptation. I've actually brought the Thrawn book, but as of right now,
it's bit of news, damn you.
I know. Sorry, I know. And it was to talk about this, and kind of that's where I have to go. Phil did send this picture to us, and honestly, the pile of comics is like, it's massive. I've not seen that many comics for a while, and I've been to some comic book shops. So yeah, it's an impressive collection, but a lot of these I won't get into. This is what we'll talk about next that I haven't mentioned yet, is probably the only one.
I was, when they first announced it, the whole Marvel deal, I was following them. I think I had every single one, and then I just phased out after, I think it must have been February, so I must have got, I think, 4 or 5 months worth, and they were great, and I did like them, but there was just so many coming out at a time, and when I was ordering them, it was like, wait, if I ordered this one, I've got to pre-order this one, and it was just an absolute nightmare. I've got the one in the garage, but I did enjoy them, but there's just, when you sent me the list earlier, I was like, oh my god, there's so many of them now. Like, just scrolling down, I was like, oh my god, like, I mean, they were fun, but I got out a good time because my bank account would not have coped well.
Yeah, Adele's not. Yeah, Adele just goes, oh my god, just boys and their toys, and it's just, yeah, there's a lot of them. I'd hate to add up the amount I spent on them myself. And that doesn't include my Spider-Man comics, including like the Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Silk, Spider-Gwen, and Venom.
Unlucky. Better than Homecoming, better than the new film.
I have mine. But yes, so my next bit of news, thank you, Dave.
You know it.
Thrawn is being adapted into a comic. Now, we will be doing our Thrawn review at some point. We have said we would, and we will do it. We just take a while getting around to things sometimes. But yes, they are adapting it into a comic. I'll get it to add to the collection, but along with the adaptations of The Force Awakens and Rogue One, it's nothing particularly interesting in terms of I'd rather read the original book, but hey ho, the cover art looks amazing for it. But yes, so that one's just a kind of a non-story. The next one we've had some of the books we've had announced from SDCC. Now, there's a lot to go through, so I'm just going to kind of go over some of the highlights in there. You've got the Canto Bight book, which is part of the Journey to the Last Jedi series. Now that could be quite interesting, just because Canto Bight, this large casino place, is something that's quite central to the new film, but we don't know why yet, of course. So to read some of the background on that will be very interesting. One of my personal favorites that I'm looking forward to coming out is Legends of Luke Skywalker. For those of you who are listening who don't know me, Luke is my favorite character of all time, along with Darth Vader. You guys here know it well. When I went to Celebration, I had to meet Mark Hamill. So yes, for me, I'm very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, we got coming up, they've announced the full title now for Mace Windu, which is Jedi of the Republic, for his 5-part series. I will be getting that for sure to go along with the collection. So we've had the Ultimate Star Wars Lego book. That's done by DK. They do all of the Lego Star Wars books. Again, another decent addition to anyone's collection who likes that. We've got Forces of Destiny, Tales of Hope and Courage, which is the adaptation of the online animated series. We've had more announced, which is a leader named Leia. That's Journey to the Last Jedi. That's a young reader's book. It's for level 2, apparently. We've had...
I should just about get through that one.
Yeah, you can that one. Another book by Claudia Gray, which is Princess of Alderaan, which is a Leia book that's set before episode 4. And if you've read any of other Claudia Gray's books, including Bloodline, phenomenal book. I can't wait for that book. So that's something that I will look forward to, of course. We've got Phasma coming out, of course, the Captain Phasma comic. There's builder droids, there's coloring books, there's annuals, there's make your own things, there's keepsakes. There's a Build Your Own BB-8 and Build Your Own A-Wing, so that's more content for the life of Brien over there for sure. At least this one won't cost him too much, and his wife won't kill him. Origami stuff, and of course the visual dictionary. And the visual dictionary is something that we all of us here will know and love. We've got another Journey to the Last Jedi book, which is Stormtroopers Beyond the Armor. That should be quite cool. And you've also had the Rebel Files to go along with the Jedi Code, the Sith Code, the Bounty Hunters Code, and the Imperial Handbook. You've got Chewie and the Porgs, as mentioned earlier. Dave will enjoy that. He'll just about get through that book as well.
Yeah, just as well, yeah.
And another one which I find very interesting is Cobalt Squadron. Now, Cobalt Squadron, we've actually got the cover for as well. I genuinely love the cover for it. It's set around Rose and her sister, Paige, and with the Resistance bombers. And I think that's going to be quite key background information for episode 8, so I will be getting that for sure. And I'm very intrigued by it. And also Cobalt Squadron, basically it's just another blue squadron. I mean, Cobalt is blue, it's just a kind of metallic shiny blue. So and then you've got Rose and Finn's Mission, again another book coming out, and I think that's about it. Apart from the art of Star Wars The Last Jedi, which we will be getting because it looks amazing, but I'm also hoping they do the photos of The Last Jedi, which will be Rian Johnson, because his photos do look awesome. And I think that's about it. You got Bomber Command, Star Wars Creatures, BB-8, which is a Star Wars cookbook, so it's BB-8 as in 8 when you eat food, so ATE. That's
bad
brilliant.
Puns.
Yeah, it's
a
bad
marketing.
Awesome. They've released officially, because of course officially last time out they released the TIE Silencer. They announced that because of the leaks and things. They announced a book which is a make your own TIE Silencer. There's a lot announced at SDCC, both over at Hasbro and Star Wars itself. So you've got The Last Jedi Junior Novelization, the Marvelization by Jason Fry, the film, and that is it. So I finally got through the giant list. There's a lot of books coming out. Not all of them the novel series, but yeah. So
yeah, I think there's a lot that's obviously you've got it centered around the lead up to the film, and then they've got so much supplemental material that they put out there, especially for like they're trying to get more kids in. So you have to have.
I did do a post on the Facebook page with a link to the StarWars.com bit, which is where I have just listed the books from. So if you want to go and check them out, head over to our Facebook page. You can find the link there. Sorry, Dave, continue.
No, I was just saying. So I mean, they put out all these great books that they lead up to the films with. It's just some of the supplementary stuff that outside of that I just think, ugh. Like the stuff like BB-8's cookbook, and I just think it's not. I mean, it might be some people's cup of tea. It might be what they really enjoy out of it, but just for me, it just doesn't do anything for me. Those kind of books. For
me, it's just it's the main novels that I get. I read the proper background, like Catalyst. Catalyst gives so much background to Rogue One. It's ridiculous. I highly recommend that book. It's a very, very good book. I think you've read that one, George, haven't you?
I got like 2 chapters in and got bored, so it wasn't for me. My favorite one of the new canon is actually Before the Awakening, which was where it was like 3. That
was Rey, Poe, and Finn. Yeah,
their backgrounds. And I prefer ones like that are outright. It's not a kid's book, but
it still gives you background, like with FN-299, so you know why he yells traitors at Finn or FN-2187.
I'll be doing what I did last time and watch the film first, then read the books, because I like going into the films as clean as possible. Because I'll read the Phasma one straight after episode 8, I think.
No, I will do that as well. But when it came to Rogue One, I wanted to read Catalyst purely because I'd read the Tarkin book, which again, brilliant book. It's done by the same author, and it did give a lot of extra background. Because I knew there was no Cruel going into Rogue One. That was for me the Cruel.
That's a very long crawl.
It's a very long crawl, but it's a good crawl. But yes, that's Star Wars, and I'm happy to be talking about books again. But yes, so we'll now move on to Toy Shelf. First up is the new Black Series figures unveiled, which is Captain Rex from the Clone Wars era. I'll be getting that for damn sure when it comes out because that looks fantastic. Maz Kanata, General Organa, and Rebel Fleet Trooper finally, after all these years, has been released. Although he does seem to look a lot like Han Solo.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw him. I'm surprised we hadn't already had some of these, especially when Episode 8's coming out. I mean, did they give a release date window? I don't actually think they did. I just think they'll be arriving sometime
Q3 of this year, so it'll be next month.
4th Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll get Episode 8 ones plus Episode 7 ones. Yeah, some of these, like, they look, as usual, the Black Series look awesome. I think a big thing was I think they've accepted the criticism that, in all honesty, the Black Series has become very, very, very basic. Is a very nice way to talk about how the sculpts have been in the last couple of years.
It has declined over the past couple of years, I have to admit. And they have done some stunning ones in the past.
Yeah, they've announced they've got some new software they've made to quote improve the sculpts. It's going to be like a face scanning thing. I thought they'd have that anyway. I thought they probably do have that anyway. But they've talked about Uber improving the sculpts from now on. I was like, well, you just missed the shot. I mean, have you seen what Rey looks like in that Hasbro double pack at Comic-Con? You've got like the most awesome Luke figure, and then you've got Rey, which looks like Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. So, I mean, would I buy that? I don't know, but I want to buy it. I mean, luckily with me,
the Luke one's a must.
Yes.
I think the Luke side of it.
The Luke side.
It's the con, isn't it? It's like getting the Indiana Jones Blu-ray box set. You know you're going to have to get 4, but you won't leave a 3. And that's how I feel about that figure for Luke, because I really want.
That's brilliant. That's the best analogy of it all. Yeah.
However, we'll let Dave take on the next part, because it's the leaked image of the 3.75 inch, and we know Dave's a 3.75 inch man.
Yes, I am. No, I mean, so it's not denying anything. So yeah, it's these figures are. I love this range. They've certainly been phased out. There's a lot less figures coming out, and the images that we got were the vintage that are coming to us. And there's some really good figures. I mean, there's a Luke coming out in that range as well, and he looks awesome. In some of those, some of them, it's hard when you get to that size with the sculpts to get them as great. Which is why you think when they said, "Oh, we're releasing the Black Series, I'm going to put loads more detail," and then they got poor again, and it's like, oh, you're not really putting much effort in. So just going back to George's point, that the fact that they did come out and say, look, we've got this new thing, we're going to 3D scan the heads, and they'll be able to then size them and look awesome. Really looking forward to that. But yes, to be honest, the leaked images, the only one that really took my fancy was the Luke one out of all the ones I saw of the 3 quarter. Yeah, and so that'll be something I'll definitely get. I do like the packaging that we're getting for the new figures. I think it's really nice. That white was just the figure on, which looks like some of those images that we saw in the passport photos of the Snoke. So I think they're going to look excellent. It looks like we're going back to the old, the talking figures. They've got some. They seem to have some kind of force wave on the bubble. And from what rumors are, it's going to be like very much like the Comtech things that came out with the episode 1 figures, where they'll talk when you put them onto something or press something. But I don't know, that's a gimmicky thing. But the packaging overall looks excellent. I'm looking forward to these. These probably
being Luke, I'll get it because I love.
Yeah, they're probably the best looking packaging in my opinion since the vintage collection, like the original.
Yeah,
these are my favourites.
Yeah, I mean, the old vintage line. I actually have an unopened, unpunched Darth Sidious, and I do absolutely adore that thing.
I mean, when these pictures leaked, I thought, oh, it's just the usual ones for kids. But when I think about it now, it's like when the last ones come out, there was like, what was it? Was it like a kind of like glider thing where they linked with some arms or some backpack nonsense?
Yeah. Like, the last lot of figures were all they had some accessories where they made.
If I was a kid, I wouldn't want that. I grew up with the episode 1 Comtech. And I think by putting the voice stuff, it's probably going to be an app because this is obviously every kid has an iPad these days. I wouldn't be surprised if the kids get interest to it with the whole voice stuff because it's something they'd probably like. But I do think the artwork looks absolutely incredible on them, and I will go and pick up a Luke. I
mean, I'm hoping that they are redoing their efforts that the Black Series will go back to what it was, which was aimed at collectors, and the 3.75 inch range will be aimed more at kids. They've lost that over time with the Black Series 3.75 inch range, and you've got the generic kids toys which do have these builder figures and all the rest of it that goes with it, and you have the Black Series as we know it, which we've discussed declining quality. We don't know, they're still great figures, but they've just put a little less effort into them now. Hopefully they'll be just like Admiral Ozil and be doubling their efforts now from now on in.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's just, as a kid, 3.75 is one bit. I feel like they were trying to make adults buy the 6 inches for their kids.
Yeah.
And by reverting back, improving the quality, they'll probably improve the prices on the Black Shoes as well. But hopefully they sort it out soon. But
as long as it's not 90 quid for Thrawn plus little few extras, will be fine because we're still not happy about that. I know I'm not because I wanted that Thrawn, but not that price. I mean, not that much.
I think you will be able to get it because now this. I mean, it's not in here for us to talk about, but that's one of our points. But Kapow Toys came out earlier in the week and have said they've got their stock and they're now sorting through the boxes and conditions, and they're going to go out to people who pre-ordered, and then any of the stock they've got left will go live for sale on their site. Now, I think that to get this, you could look at boxes with dents in, maybe some little marks around the box. But for that Thrawn box, I want to display that open with the Thrawn figure in front of it. So I think you could probably get away with getting one that's got maybe a little bit of outer damage if you're not wanting to then sell it on.
If they have a discounted one, then yes, I'll be picking that up for sure.
It'll probably be discounted by £1.
Oh well, yeah, you've got 50p off.
I'm intrigued for the Luke and Ray price. I think because nowhere has the prices for that yet. I don't think.
No,
and eBay. Interesting.
Looking.
Interesting. With eBay, Thrawn's going for 80 on there. The Luke and Ray is going for about 50.
Yeah,
I think it'd be the other way around, but it's not. It's definitely not the other way around. But
I amazing. We all love that character.
Yeah, I might. I mean, I get paid on Friday. I'm scared I'm going to pick some up, but I've got some other things I need to sort out first. Let's get bad times ahead. Let's get on some stuff that I won't be buying actually upright. I don't know if this is official, but it is official. Official images of the Lego have come out, which we did have last time, but there's been some more now. Where it seems like the ones that get on the back of the cardboard boxes because there's loads of them and they've got the figures posing what's going to go on websites when you're shopping and stuff. I don't know if anyone else has seen these, but there's one of like Thrawn Not Thrawn. What? Oh god, wrong one.
Hey,
Snoke.
Lego Thrawn would be awesome though.
There is a Lego Thrawn somewhere, but it's in a stupid Lego kit, which is just pointless. But there's one of
Robin is commenting tonight as per usual, so he'll hopefully put that down below so we can talk about that particular bit. Robin,
they've got Lego Snoke on blue hologram to Lego. I'm assuming Kylo Ren or Lego size.
Yeah, Lego.
And I'm there like, okay, they've released all these, but they're still not on Lego.com. So it's going back to these. These will come out officially next week or two. But all of the Legos out there for anyone that wants to go and look what's coming on Force Friday. I actually won't be picking up any. Because I know exactly what I'm gonna end up probably buying on the day.
Yes.
So yeah, Force Friday, fun times ahead for Disney's bank account, not ours.
Yeah, this is true. Although to be fair, though, do we want to talk about Force Friday here, or should we save our announcement properly for Cantina talk?
We'll wait it.
Okay,
we'll leave it.
For sure. And then so we've got some kind of cool stuff for that in terms of. We've seen the one with Poe with the Skyhopper, the new ship you see on Crate, and I know we've seen a few other bits and pieces as well. I mean, it is one of those things where, again, I was talking earlier about official leakers and things, and this does feel like, again, more of an official leak than anything else. But yes, I mean the Star Wars Lego stuff's always been cool. I just don't have enough of it, just purely because I don't have enough space to display it all. But yes, moving on from that, we have the leaked prototype pops. George, just talk about pops now. Go on. Phantom 2 apparently is what you get thrown in. Thank you, Robin. I knew he'd pull through for us on that one. I can't talk this evening.
Pop Funkos. A month ago, I would still refrain saying that they are CRAP. I didn't get the hype at all. I became a hypocrite, and I'm honest with that. And what did last time I say? I might have 6 more by the time we do another episode.
Yeah, I think you said, I've got 7 on order. So yeah, it was around.
I got 21. I got 21 more from 2 weeks ago. And I got an email earlier saying 2 more have just been dispatched on order.
Good.
So the money is the money's there, which scares me even more because I'm thinking how much I could have saved. But no, there are 45 at home. I picked up all the San Diego exclusives I wanted, except for Leia and R2 double pack because it's not numbered. Therefore, I don't have to buy it. This is such a good way of thinking it through.
Nice.
But I will get talking about the rest of the pops later. But in terms of news, we've had some leaked prototype pops for episode 8. Because obviously now I'm in the No One Pop, so I'm learning more and more. And we've had a look at Snoke. Well, by prototype, it's basically the pop not coloured in that they've released. The 3D models probably at the Funko factories or something, but there was Snoke, who obviously looks mangled. He's not on a chair like the San Diego one. It's normal Snoke. New Kylo Ren. For some reason, he's got his mask on, which means there'll be like 5 variants somewhere.
Definitely, yeah.
Rose, which is obviously we're going to get, and we got the first look at DJ, played by Benicio del Toro. I'm assuming all of these are going to go on sale on Force Friday. And what's more interesting for anyone that does get pops, it's little numbers on the side. Pre-orders just went up for the TIE Pilot and TIE Fighter from Episode 4. That's number 221. The San Diego ones, just checking. The most recent number is 184. So between 184 and 221 is quite clearly going to be the Last Jedi ones, which means there's only going to be about 27.
Oh, good, excellent.
And George will get 26 of those.
I'll probably get all of them, to be fair. I'll just say it.
The obsession is taken.
The thing is, they stack nicely, and I will give them that. They stack. You don't actually need a lot of room for them, and I have all the respect in the world for a company that does that, because when I was getting Black Series, the OCD in me despised the fact that a cabinet was looking so full and crammed and the height differences, but with the pops, just keep stacking them. But I'm sure I've run out of room eventually, and then I'll have to probably buy a shelf to get 20, 30 more. But it's going to be an interesting couple of months ahead, because obviously I've got to catch up to the others. But no, leaked episode 8 pops. But I reckon we'll get 10 on Force Friday, just like we did for Force Awakens.
Indeed, indeed. And then moving on to our next bit of news is Hot Toys have announced the Episode 3 Anakin, Endor Luke, and Endor Leia. They've also, with Sideshow Collectibles on that particular front, have confirmed the return of Mythos. If you were listening to or watching our episode a couple weeks later, earlier, I was talking about my love for the myth of Darth Vader, so I'm very interested to see what that's going to be like. But the episode 3 Anakin looks cool. The Endor Luke looks amazing. I want it, but the problem with Hot Toys is they're very expensive, and I probably can't afford them.
I mean, you're talking probably minimum sort of 250.
200, yeah, 250
around that for a figure, and I think Hot Toys, you can't. It's hard to be a collector of them. It really must be, unless you've got money to burn. Then I think you've got to pick and choose. Like, this is the one figure that I want to display.
Yeah, remind me, what happened at Star Wars Celebration last year, Dave?
That you made me buy one. No, it was not. It was a sideshow R2D2, but that's fine. I'll get a review one day.
Yeah, eventually. It's been a year. Come on.
But yes, I mean, Hot Toys. I mean, the only one I've seen that's coming soon, I think, might be the one I would purchase. I mentioned this last week, is the Tarkin one that's coming out. I think would be the one for me to stand, just pride of place. That would be awesome. Because the thing with the I'm going to jump back to the Black Series. Only thing I have as a problem with that Thrawn figure, the face is not based on the Rebels.
No, especially on the book.
Whereas everything around him is based on the Rebels episodes, but the figure is not a Rebels version of it. And it bothers me a little bit that it's not the case, that his face isn't the Rebels one. He's got these big eyebrows that kind of put me off a little bit. But yeah, it's Hot Toys, awesome. They look incredible. They should really lend their technology to the Black Series guys and say, guys, do a face like this. It's dead easy. Press this button, face. So yeah, I mean, they are exceptional figures. The likenesses on there that they have are great, and the more of that, I'd love to see someone who's got a lot of them. I'd love to see. I got the Forbidden Planet. I think there's a big one in London. They've got them all in glass,
stunning,
and
yeah. You go to the London one, like, oh my god, they're so good, and then you just add up the price of like 2, and you're like, wow, you've got far too many on display, and then you walk out.
Yeah.
And they're right at the entrance. They're always bringing, like, look at us. You can't afford us. Move along.
I've been there a couple of times, and I just look at it and go, I want
twice in the last 2 weeks. And I came out with 2 items total. I was so proud of myself.
To be fair, we'll get on to, well, my friend once walked in and ended up spending 267 in that store without knowing what he bought. Effectively, he couldn't even remember everything. It was crazy. That's another story for another time. And then finally on the toy shelf, and our final bit of news for this evening is you can now pre-order the children's land speeder from Toys R Us for only $499.99. Dave, will you be buying this?
I would love I have a 2-year-old son, and even though he hasn't seen Star Wars yet, I want this.
Do it.
If it wasn't £500, I would get it.
It's $499.99. It's fine.
Right, that's fine. That's like all of his Christmas fun for everybody that I buy for. So it's a crazy price, but don't get me wrong. Every bit of video footage I've seen of it, every picture I've seen it looks exceptional. It looks perfect in proportion the way they built it. I absolutely adore it as an item, but it's way out of my price for what is essentially a go-kart or a little kid's ride-on thing. Its price is way out there, but it's
the hypocrite in you is strong, considering I know how much that Sideshow collectible R2 set you back.
Say nothing. But yeah, I just think everyone should have one of those. They should make cars that look like that. I just want a full size. They are
for adults, because the biggest question was, can adults drive it?
Yes, they can.
Well, I think it's got a weight limit. There was talk. I think it's 180 pounds. I think it can take something like that.
I'm good.
All right, shut up. I'll watch as you go by. But yeah, so it'll be, as I say, it's Toys R Us exclusive. It looks amazing. I look forward to some kids getting that on Christmas morning and me watching them on Instagram and Facebook being all jealous of them.
Indeed. Anyway, so yes, that concludes our show this evening. On to Cantina Talk, though. So, I was like, concludes our show, concludes all the news for this evening. That's what I mean. But yeah, on to Cantina Talk. And then, George, we will let you just take this one away. What have you been up to, my dear boy?
I went to London Film and Comic Con on last Friday and Saturday now, I guess I could say. Where obviously I went to meet some people. It was, well, I did more than meet some people, actually. I bought too many other things. But essentially, the main reason I went there was to meet the Emperor. That was the goal, and there were bonuses added nearer the time. Alan Tudyk was there, K2SO. I'll just go through the people I met on Friday.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go.
I'll go through it. It was, put it this way, at Star Celebration, we all queued up early because we had to get them autograph numbers. And on the Friday, the doors open at 9. We got there at 8, me and my friend, and we were probably in the top 100, 200. Like any convention, there are a lot of stereotypical nerds in front of you. And by stereotypical nerds, you think like comic book man from Simpsons, something like that. So when the gates really open, it's about speed and maps. And the second them doors open, some people just can't compete, and we flew by. So on Friday, I managed to meet Mads Mikkelsen, which was unreal. I didn't talk to him about Star Wars. I met K2SO, but I didn't talk to him about Star Wars either. I met Jessica Henwick, and she dropped an episode 9 spoiler, which was very naughty indeed, which I shan't repeat. And it was good. It was good fun, except the 5-hour wait for Tudyk because they it was organized very well. But the one queue that wasn't organized properly was Alan Tudyk on Friday. But I did get to meet him, and we did get to talk about Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball. But so Friday was great. But like I said, I'm here for the Emperor. He was Saturday, Ian McDermott. And we got there at 7 a.m. on Saturday. We knew it was going to be a busy day. The Cumber bitches were there to meet Benedict Cumberbatch, but we knew where we wanted to go. No, that's what
that's what they're called. Yeah. That's acceptable.
So we got there at 7 on Friday. So, we're going to be like the top 100. We were like 400.
Wow.
And then we waited. We lurked, and the doors opened again, and we flew. There's a lot of Game of Thrones people, and I ended up meeting not Donald Glover. Why do I always get him mixed up? General Veers from episode 5. Julian Glover.
Yes.
I always get mixed up. And because my friend was getting into Game of Thrones map signed, so I jumped in. I was like, I might as well get my box at sign while it's in my hand. So I did that as well. But the real run was the Emperor. When it got to 9 a.m. when we were running, at the back of the hall is the big names, the biggest names of the day, except like John Cleese and Benedict Cumberbatch had their own booths elsewhere. And I thought, right, the Emperor's going to be at the back. This is the Emperor after all. This is the Emperor. And he wasn't at the back. And there was this like moment of panic where I had to run. I looked on the spot and I just ran in another direction to try and find the Emperor's area. And I got there and I was number 64.
That's not bad.
But so I met him. But there was big drama on his queue. At 12 o'clock, they were calling numbers. To anyone knows how virtual ticket queues work, you get a number on the day, and when your number's up, it's like ordering food or getting shoes back in the day at Clark's when you need to get your number. It was 0 to 10 for like 2 hours on the Emperor. And I was there like, well, I know he's the Emperor, but like, why is he 0 to 10? And I was chatting to the queue organizer, and there's this thing called gold passes where he basically gets to jump the queues, and because he's the Emperor, everyone kept coming to him. And then because we were nice, we weren't being nosy, we were number 60. It turned into a tactic for the guy to shoo off all the 100, 200, 300s, let the under 100s in, leaving it at 0 to 10. So I got to meet Ian McDermott just before his lunch break. I was nervous as hell. I hadn't been that nervous about meeting someone since Mark Hamill for the first time, where I was shaking as I shook his hand. With the Emperor, it was nerve that turned to like jubilant excitement by the time I got to him.
Excellent.
And I just like immediately, I just shook his hand. It's an honor to meet you, sir. And like he looked up, he smiled as well. He said thanks, and then he asked my name to get on. I got him on the. I should if we've got the Blu-ray out, you can see it actually just slightly above my head. But I gave him the actual inside, so not the inside, but when you pull the actual Blu-rays out, he's got the very front Star Wars logo. He's like, I'll write it in blue to match the color. So he put Ian McDermott. Then he drew a line underneath Star Wars saying Emperor, which was awesome. So he's got his own page. He's that important. But he was lovely. He spoke about what his favourite scene was, and he said the opera scene from episode 3. And shout out to Chris, who asked for him to write "I am the Senate," which he did do. I did not have the balls to ask for that on my thing. I wish I did, but meeting him was fantastic, and Comic-Con was great. I mean, I've gone into detail on him because really he was the only one I could go in detail on. I did meet Jimmy V as well. Sorry, the new R2D2. So I have both R2D2s on my episode 7 poster.
That's cool.
And very soon, well, December, I shall have both Chewbacca's on the episode 7 poster, which will be very interesting. But that happened, and while we get to my demise of my money and the root of all evil, which is Pop Funkos, I purchased on Friday 2, 4. Well, I sent you guys a picture, didn't I?
Yeah, it's level 12. Yeah.
I think I bought 11. One of these is Ray with her Magnum speeder thing.
Yeah, it's 11. Yeah,
and yeah, so as you do a convention, you just go around the floor, and I was like, oh, there's so many pops, like markers, like stop this, stop me from buying some. Then we got to a store where they had a couple of for those who know what Smuggler's Bounty is, that's the Funko subscription in America, which we don't get over here, and you pay 50 quid to get it imported from an American address. Oops. And basically, I saw some other. So I originally started the day. I bought like 2, 3 cheap Force Awakens ones. Like, well, they're 5 quid here. There ain't going to be more on eBay. There'll be a lot more on eBay. So I pick them up here just so I got the cheapy ones. Then I walked around. I found the one. So I got Chrome Captain Phasma, which was awesome.
Nice.
I got R2 Episode 6 on Jabba's with the trays, which
awesome.
which is a bargain. I got it for 12 quid, and it's normally like 25 on eBay. I got Bane Kenobi, Smuggler's Bounty, which looked awesome. And then I carried on walking along, and I just keep calling them stupid Welshmen to everyone that asks. There was a store with these 2 Welsh ladies, and in the corner of my eye, I saw in the background Ray on the speeder, and I know now that I've been following it, this is one of the hardest pops to find. It's one of the most expensive pops currently. And I just walked up and says, how much are you selling that speed for out of curiosity? They go, 30 quid. I was like, you're joking. And I just gave them the money straight away. A bit of context, it's selling for 70 quid.
Yeah.
The odd £60 one, I think retail price was 40 quid. Then I started looking at their pops. There was the brand new Mace Windu, £8. And he's like £16 at Forbidden Planet when you go in store. And I had to restrain myself from buying a couple of more, but I came out with 11 on day 1. And I didn't buy any on day 2. I was proud of myself, but since I've got home, obviously I've ordered more. It was a good weekend. The funny
thing is, though, George actually sent a message to us a few weeks ago going, I'm going to some of my Black Series figures, just kind of want to save some money. I'm spending far too much. And then this happens. And I've just ribbed him for it ever since.
Well, in all honesty, for like, I've got 45 pops, and I went like, I've spent 270 quid on them. That's not bad.
Not actually, no.
Because I did a trade deal of some old steelbooks, but the ones, I mean, the only reason I bought that raise, if I wanted to cash in on some of these now, like I've got one hell of a profit on en route. Like some of these are that Windu for 8 quid. Like, are they mental?
That is a crazy price,
like,
yeah.
And I was chatting to one of the other guys that I knew then, and I was like, and he knew some pop dealers, so we're chatting to the pop dealers, and I said, out of curiosity, how much would you sell Ray with? He goes, the market's 60, but I don't really rip people off, because I would have done about 40, 50, and I was like, I just picked it up from them women for 30 quid. He was like, Jesus, because they don't know what they've got, like, and it was a fun weekend, but the pop stuff is, I knew I was going to get some, and when you're with someone that's got 400 pops at home,
oh my word!
It's very hard. When it's like, this is the chase version. These are rare. These are rare. These are rare. These are rare. And it's building up. And I was like, I know Star Wars. Like, I know which ones are rare. But now I'm learning it. I'm grafting the prices of what they're going to cost on eBay compared to what they are. I mean, Chrome Phasma is something I wanted, but that was out of stock when I tried to order it. That's like 25, 30 new, 15 quid. It was. I think. Yes, I spent a lot. I spent at Comic Con. I spent 90. I think I spent 98 on like 11 pops, or 110 on like 11. So it worked out at good prices, but it's growing. I'm refraining from buying. I mean, the Welsh women, the Rebels ones are about £14 each. Some of the rare ones, and they had them all for £6 for some reason, and I had to be held back from them. But Comic Con was great fun. I met some people. It's crossed some more people off the list. The Rogue One poster has more autographs. The Episode 7 poster has more autographs. The Blu-ray box has more autographs. Which I will meet Billy D. Williams, and my life will change. I would have almost completed the original trilogy.
I mean, looking, that's at the filler. It was on the thing. It looked so good. The Comic Con. I was really jealous that I wasn't able to get down to it. It looked way better than. Was it the MCM you went to?
It's a lot better. Than MCM. Oh, don't take offense to this, Phil. I'm not big on cosplaying. The way I see the conventions now, MCM is very much the community, the cosplaying con. and show masters is come in, get your autographs, and like
I agree.
you know. And for me personally, I'm a autograph guy. Well, not an autograph hunter. I'm not someone that's going to spam George Lucas in the street. I'm someone that I want to meet these people because I want to meet these people. I want to get them on my posters. So I've got them showing that I do like them. And like I'm just all about showmasters, running in early, getting them autographs. Because it's early starts, but it's worth it at the end of the day. And it was good fun, as stressful as it can be. It was good fun, but MCM was an absolute joke compared to this, especially when they forgot to pick up Donnie Yen from his hotel. The fact, I mean, in total over the weekend with my friend, we probably met about 15, 16 people, like combined. There was one cock-up, which was the Alan Tudyk, and that's very rare for a convention, one cock-up. Yeah. And that was more because the idiot that was working there didn't know how to control a queue.
Yeah, it looked awesome. I love the poster that George got. We got at Celebration, the Rogue One poster, and he's now got the signatures going across it. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. I adore it. You
know what makes it more interesting? I met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right? 6 people this weekend.
Who was
including
that meeting?
It was £5 more expensive for the 6 I got than getting one autograph from not Daisy Ridley, Jin. Rogue One's getting so relevant. You're starting to like automatically program to like the episode 8 cast. This is getting brilliant. But yeah, £5 more for everyone I met.
With her ridiculous cost, yes.
Also, interestingly,
it wouldn't be Ones of the Force, the Star Wars podcast, without a rant about Felicity Jones's pricing.
Finally, one thing I can say though, you get talking to people in queues and you get to meet people that do obviously a lot of conventions and stuff like that. There's a rumor I've heard before, which was confirmed by someone that's a bit in the know because he runs a couple of sort of social media accounts and stuff. He's heard that the episode 9, the new trilogy key cast, I guess you could say, are contractually on their contracts. They aren't to do any public signing appearances until after episode 9. Because I always wondered, especially with Rogue, I always moaned last year, why wasn't anyone at Rogue One signing when Maz Mikkelsen was signing at London 3 weeks later? And obviously, contracts. And I feel that post episode 9, we'll start to get the mall out events. So it was nice hearing that because I've always I'd assumed that, but nice to get confirmation of some other people. But yeah, it'll be interesting trying to wonder what they'll be charging for some autographs when the time comes.
Don't. It'll be ridiculous. Oh dear. To be fair, Well,
they reckon that Mark Hamill's going to be $300 at New York Comic Con this year, which is over doubled in value since Celebration last year. So now it's looking like a bargain on what we got, Phil.
Really? Yeah. I must say now it definitely looks like a bargain what I paid, which I was never expecting. But yes, so I think that actually brings us to conclusion this evening, gentlemen. I don't think I've got anything else to add. Yeah. What about you guys?
No, I think we're all covered in Star Wars and caught up and all great and good in the world. And let's see what breaks next time for us to talk about because it all seems quiet. It's like, oh, it's going to be a terrible episode. I don't know what we're going to talk. Right, loads of news. There's loads of news. But yeah, it's again,
another long one this evening.
Get together and talk Star Wars every couple of weeks.
Indeed. Oh, no, I suppose we should actually talk about Force Friday. And our little announcement.
You want to cover that now? Yeah, go for it, yeah.
So, yeah, Force Friday. It was going to be the 3 of us, but due to unfortunate circumstances and work commitments, George won't be making it. But Dave and myself will be heading down to London to the main Disney store on Oxford Street for the midnight launch of Force Friday. And we will be doing a live event from there. I haven't quite figured out the way we'll be doing it just yet, but I am traveling with a couple of friends. So we'll get something set up so that Dave and I can do some sort of live event from there. But yes, we are heading down there, and I can't wait for that. Dave?
Yeah, it's going to be good times. It's going to be a really weird trip as I'm traveling to London on the night. I have no hotel. I'm going to the Disney store for midnight, and my train home is at 6 o'clock in the morning. So who knows how I'll spend those hours between. I'm hoping it's open all night, so I can just wander around. But I'm looking forward. It's going to be a good time. We'll have a good laugh. I'll bring some money, I guess, and we'll see see how quickly it goes. I maybe spend up after like 10 minutes and go, well, that was worthwhile a trip. But no, it'll be good. We'll definitely have something live, whether it's just a Facebook Live or we can maybe get a hangout going so we can get on YouTube and get a live video out again. But we will have something. If anybody is watching this who comes down, who's around, give us a shout. We'll certainly be. We'll point ourselves out because we're loud and like that. So yeah, it's going to be a
We'll
good
bring
time.
some
on
Force
September
business
4th.
cards. If you want us to scribble on them for any reason, we can do that for you.
I just scribble on them anyway, just drop it. They're mostly rude, but that's fine. But yeah, it's going to be a good time, and I know George, even though George has work commitments, will be online and telling us all about the pops that he's bought just after midnight, and we can report that live.
It's the grim factor of the, okay, I've got to miss. I was like, but I'm going to be on a computer at midnight, and then I get flashbacks like PTSD to Force Friday 1, where I spent £400 inside half an hour online.
Ooh.
I know. So it's going to be fun.
I mean, I dropped
No, it's not.
Celebration. That was over 3 days.
Celebration! I don't even want to look back at that. That money was worth it. But Force Friday this year, I've got a bad feeling it's just going to be pops and po.
It'd be good times if we can get a live thing sorted out. If we can sit and get a hangout, maybe we can get George just to come in for a few minutes before he goes to bed, before he goes to work and things. But yes, so Force Friday's going to be good. We're going to be live from Oxford Street, which will be awesome. I've not seen Phil since I met him in the Q Celebration, so it'll be good to get together and good times ahead.
Yeah, indeed. So we're all looking forward to that. George isn't going to be with us for the next episode either, so it'll just be Dave and myself, but we will get everything sorted. So yes, hopefully next time you'll be seeing us, it will be Force Friday or nearly Force Friday. But anyway, we've been Ones of the Force. May the Force always be with you. Good night.